Hey, Joe! Take care of Louie now.
Summer camp. 15 days in the field. 15 days to put into practice all the things we'd studied evenings at the Armory for the year past. It's quite a show. You look, you can see guys from cities and towns like mine, from a whole state or several states, doing about everything that's done in the Army, and by and large, doing it right well. Maybe some of them call it a sacrifice, or a chore, or a burden, but I know a lot that don't. Sure, it takes you away from home. You leave your job or your business. Maybe you even lose part of your vacation. May even cost you money. But somehow they manage it. Most employers try to work it out so the fellows can manage to go to camp. After all, they have just as much at stake in this country as any of their employees. And if an employer makes up the difference in pay, that's just good business and good citizenship. Maybe some fellas take it on the chin a little, like Joe and me. But the thing is, they do it. And you don't see any gold-breaking in the way they go about it. They're proud of what they're doing. Americans don't talk much about patriotism. They just do something about it. There are things you can only half say about pride in your service, in your unit. I guess we've all tried to say it in our own words one time or another.
You gotta eat, Joe. You can't travel on an empty stomach. Nope. And this is the best fed man's army in the world.
There's one thing I don't want to hear again, and that is this man's army.
I wish they'd turn off those machine guns. War is one thing, but I'd hate to tell my grandchildren how I got shot in peacetime and where.
That's us engineers. First we build these roads, and then the artillery and the tanks tear them up. And then we build them again. But it's good training for when we may have to do it in combat.
This bunch of recruits sure need a training. And where can they get it better than from guys like us that have been there? My own hospital would give a lot to have a nursing and technical staff like this for even 1 week out of the year.
God must have loved the infantry. He made so many of us. Well, we can gripe all we like, but nobody ever won a war without foot soldiers.
Yeah, there are things you feel you can't put into words, much as you try. But for me, I felt it most the last day of camp at review. We were sharp, trim, all spit and polish. We were tough, tired, and proud. Somewhere out there is the minister of my church, the banker that Joe and I owe $400 to. Barney Rogan, Patrolman Simmels, Professor Kleinschmidt, and a lot of others. And I was one of them. About the 400th from the left. I sort of wished that major from Separation Center could have seen us that day, but he was probably off at some other camp somewhere, marching, training, teaching. In that year, we'd spent a lot of evenings learning. We'd drawn a little pay. We'd kept our jobs and our businesses going. We'd done a little extra duty, double duty, as citizens and as soldiers. We'd learned a lot about what makes this country tick, what makes it free, what makes it strong. For me, it had been a good year. I'd come a long way in a lot of ways. I was sorry camp was ending, and at the same time glad to be going home again, because you see, I had a date, an important date at a church in my hometown, with bells ringing for me and my girl, and the organ playing our wedding march. Same church, same bells, same music. No wonder weddings make me thoughtful. And Joe was our best man. Yeah, Things worked out good for me. A new friend, a partner in a new business, and a partner for life. How did it all turn out so good for me? I don't know. I'd done what I thought I ought to do for me, for my country. I guess that's the most and the least you can do. Maybe that's the answer.
That's the story of Greg Bennett, an active member of the ORC. As long as men are called to the Army through selective service, the ORC will increase in numbers. As we brought out in our story, all selectees upon release are automatically transferred to the reserve. They are subject to recall for 15 days active duty training each year. Most employers know that in helping these men to fulfill their reserve obligations, they are making an important contribution in strengthening the defense of our country.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the U.S. Army in cooperation with this station. You can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.